Welcome back to the MMA Fight Realm. Thanks for tuning in if you are new. It is your boy Chris, and we're back with another picks and predictions video for UFC 298, Volkanovski taking on Elliot Topuria. Now, before I get into it, follow the Instagram at MMA Fight Realm. I got fight news, I got betting odds, I got my bets, any pick flips if I make any. Follow the Instagram at MMA Fight Realm. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the picks in the comments, guys. Let's get into it. So, Andrea Lee taking on Miranda Maverick to kick off the card. Super interesting fight here because, you know, they faced similar majority of the who's who in their weight classes. Andrea Lee more in particular, you know, she's coming off a 3-fight skid to Natalia Silva, Viviane Araujo, and Maycee Barber. And Miranda Maverick, they actually share that opponent in Maycee Barber. Maycee Barber was able to get it done by decision over both of them, but I thought Miranda Maverick won that fight. And if you can submit your scores on MMAdecisions.com, and you also get to see MMA journalist scores of how they saw the fight, basically. I'm not saying that's the be-all, end-all, but a lot of people also felt that Miranda Maverick won the fight. Now, I think she had a physicality advantage against Maycee Barber, and she's going to have one here. She was the busier fighter against Maycee Barber. She's going to have to get busy against Andrea Lee if this fight stays standing. She has that capability. You know, I think she has good striking, and she's definitely going to have the grappling advantage in this fight. She's got 7 wins by submission, and just what I think is that Andrea Lee is tough to keep on the ground. So she will make some mistakes, though, that will end, like Miranda Maverick can capitalize if Andrea Lee does continue to make those mistakes in her fights that do lead her to the ground. I'm going to go with Miranda Maverick to get this one done by decision. I think the physicality advantage is going to play a big role, and the striking gap is not so wide, in my opinion, out of the two fighters. A lot of people feel that Andrea Lee, you know, and respectfully, you know, she's faced a lot of, you know, of the who's who. She does. A lot of people feel like she has a striking advantage, but I think Miranda Maverick, 26, she's ready to show that she is a contender. She should get this one done by decision, guys, or by submission. Next fight. Val Woodburn taking on Oban Elliot. Now, this fight's a little underwhelming, in my opinion, because Oban Elliot, I'm just not sure if he really earned that contract. He won by majority decision on the Contender Series against Kike Brito, where very close fight, extremely close fight. And I just thought maybe, you know, Dana just would have maybe just told him, hey, get some more work in the regional scene and then we'll see you again. But he got the contract nonetheless, and he's taking on Val Woodburn. So you can see that the UFC really wants to see where this guy is at in terms of skill, because Val Woodburn, in my opinion, is not UFC caliber. I don't think this guy should be in the UFC. 7-1. They brought him in real early. Another guy who I think needs more work in the regional scene. There's just no technique behind his punches. He's very wild. You can see his setups before they're coming. And Oban Elliot, I'm counting on him to have the IQ to get this one done. If he can avoid the power punches coming from Val Woodburn, he should be able to get this one done by decision. Val Woodburn is going to be, you know, I think he's just going to go for broke. And it's going to be a cardio problem for Val Woodburn, because Oban definitely showed that if there's one thing he showed in that Contender Series fight is that he's got cardio. So give me Oban Elliot to get this one done by decision, guys. Next fight. Josh Quinlan taking on Danny Barlow, also in the welterweight division. Danny Barlow, though, earned his contract in my first round knockout to Raheem Forrest, and he's making his debut now, taking on Josh Quinlan. I had higher hopes for Josh Quinlan because he got that knockout win over Jason Witt, but then he took on Trey Waters, and Trey Waters came in on 2 weeks notice and just outboxed him. Was able to avoid the power coming from Josh Quinlan and outboxed him, outclassed him for 3 rounds, and he lost by unanimous decision. Now, I think Danny Barlow's going to do the exact same thing. Well, he's liable to do the exact same thing, but this time, Danny Barlow's got the power to get this one done by finish. Whereas Trey Waters was just, coming in on short notice and just outboxing him. Danny Barlow, full camp, nickname Left Hand to God. I don't think that if you give this guy 15 minutes, it's gonna take 15 minutes for him to find that left hand. And I think he's gonna put Josh Quinlan out. So give me Danny Barlow to win this one by KO in the second round, guys. Next fight, Zhang Mingyang taking on Brendson Ribeiro. Tough fight to pick here. What I will say is I don't think this fight is going to the scorecards, because both of these guys are liable for a knockout, and both of these guys have been knocked out. Cardio is definitely a question here. I don't think Zhang Mingyang has seen many third rounds, and Brendson, I would say he's fought the tougher opponents, and he's gonna have a reach advantage here, but he leaves himself open for shots, man. And Zhang Mingyang, he's fought a heavyweight before. He's had a size disadvantage before, so that reach advantage is not really too much of a concern for me. I'm gonna go with Zhang Mingyang to get this one done. Very low confidence pick here. I think if this fight does end up in the third round, though, anybody, Brendson could get out of the both. Since he's fought the tougher opponents, I would say might get this one done by decision. If it does go there, I don't see it going to the judges. I see one of these two knocking each other out. They are definitely happy to throw in the phone booth, and one of them is gonna go out. But I'm gonna be rocking with Zhang Mingyang to get that one done by knockout. Next fight, Rinya Nakamura taking on Carlos Vera. Now, I don't know. This is another one where I just don't know what the UFC is doing, because they're signing Carlos Vera. Carlos Vera is coming off a decision loss to Brad Katona in The Ultimate Fighter. And, some of you didn't watch The Ultimate Fighter. I watched it just because I'm a diehard, UFC guy, but he didn't look good in that fight. And Brad Katona, all due respect, is not championship caliber. We've seen that out of his UFC career. Carlos Vera, already a loss to Brad Katona, taking on Rinya Nakamura, undefeated, 2-0 in the UFC. He's got a finish in his first fight where he just wasn't intimidated at all by Toshiomi, and he just, went forward, knocked them out, and then took on Fernie Garcia. Fernie Garcia showed his durability, but that was about all he showed, because Rinya Nakamura won every bit of that fight. Now he's taking on Carlos Vera. I think this is a step down in competition, in my opinion, and I see Rinya Nakamura getting this one done however way he wants. So give me the double chance bet, KO or submission, Rinya Nakamura to get this one done. Next fight, guys. Marcos Rogerio De-Lima taking on Justin Tafa. I've been waiting to talk about this one because Justin Tafa is my early dog bet alert, if you guys saw. Now, I do think that Justin Tafa is going to get this one done. A lot of YouTubers, with a bunch of subscribers, I ain't going to name no names, are saying that De-Lima could get this one done. He's very liable on the ground. And respectfully, I'm going to have to disagree. This guy's only got 2 submission wins. This guy could not take a 36-year-old Blagoy Imovov down, and he lost to Blagoy Ivanov in that fight by unanimous decision because he couldn't take him down. And Blagoy was just outworking him. 36-year-old Blagoy Ivanov. Then he beats an old Andrea Arlovsky. Then he beats Waldo Cortez Acosta. And that looks good. on paper. I think Waldo Cortez Acosta was not doing enough in that fight. He was just getting leg kicked after leg kick after leg kick. Could not get past that aspect of the game. And I'm just going to say Justin Tafa is going to be one step ahead of that. And it only takes one with Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa, I also want to mention that, Marcos Rogerio De-Lima's got a 47% takedown accuracy, less than half, and his takedown average is 1.34. So he's not really shooting much. Guys, I'm not convinced a 38, almost 39-year-old De-Lima could get this one done against Justin Tafa. Give me Justin Tafa to land that one punch. He's going to be liable for a knockout every round if it goes there. And he's got the cardio. He's been 3 rounds before. So I'm not questioning his cardio. Justin Tafa to get this one done. Next fight, guys. Amanda Lemos taking on Mackenzie Dern. I feel bad for Mackenzie Dern here because Lemos was supposed to fight Tatiana Suarez. Now Mackenzie Dern is stepping in on short notice, and she just fought 2 months ago. She didn't just fight 2 months ago. She just got her ass beat 2 months ago by Jessica Andrade. All right. We're going to see similar to if not the same, right here in this one. Amanda Lemos is a lot more technical than Jessica Andrade. She's got the same jiu-jitsu wrestling awareness, if not better. I think Amanda Lemos, she did lose to Jessica Andrade as well, right? But she put on a hell of a better fight, and she was just not getting outclassed by Jessica Andrade, whereas Mackenzie Dern, her best bet in this fight is to get this to the ground, but she just doesn't know how to. I don't understand. I lost all faith in her ability to get this fight to the ground, or any fight to the ground that is high level. And Amanda Lemos is another high level opponent. Give me Amanda Lemos to get this one done by knockout. All right, guys. Next fight. Anthony Hernandez taking on Roman Koplylov. Another super tough fight here to pick. Now, what I will say is Roman Koplylov has never faced anyone like Anthony Hernandez before. I think that is for sure fact, because Anthony Hernandez puts on a pace that just makes you not want to fight anymore. Like, this guy does not stop. He's like a Merab Dvalishvili of his weight class. While Koplylov likes to be very technical. He likes, to keep his range, find his distance, and just piece you up. He's not going to get that opportunity in this fight. Anthony's going to make it a dog fight. But Roman, he moved to Dagestan after his first 2 losses in the UFC because he was getting taken down, and he knew that, that was the aspect of his game that he needed to work on. This guy, ever since, has just been on a streak of finishing dudes. And, he's, like I said, done it with maintaining distance, using his technique very well to his advantage. He's not going to get that space, though. The question is, can his cardio hold up taking this fight on short notice? And moving to Dagestan, is it going to prove anything here? Because, he hasn't had to use much of his takedown defense other than against guys who eventually don't want to stand with him, but they're already pieced up by then. Anthony is going to go in there and come forward from the get. I got to go with Koplylov. I think that his takedown defense is going to hold up, and he's going to have a striking advantage. It's very clear that he's going to have a striking advantage in this fight. And if he could keep this one on the feet, he should be able to finish Anthony Hernandez. And that is tough to say. The guy is hard to put out. But if there's anyone who could do it, it's Roman Koplylov. I'm going to go with Roman Koplylov to get this one done. I think that he has made the right decisions in his career. And Anthony Hernandez's best chance is to make this a dogfight. So, Koplylov is the pick. by knockout. All right, guys, next fight. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Henry Cejudo. Another tough fight. I think this is the toughest fight for Merab Dvalishvili because of Henry Cejudo's resume. Henry Cejudo's an Olympic wrestler. This is the guy who will give... They're going to just basically... This should just be, I mean, put on your wrestling shoes and grapple match right here, because that's what we should see. And who's going to be the better grappler? I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili. I mean, if Aljamain is able to get you down, I gotta bank on Merab being able to get you down too. I think Aljo's setups aren't as clean as Merab's, and I think Merab is a lot more vicious in there. His pace that he puts on is a lot more faster than Aljo, and Aljo was also able to get it done against Henry. I just think Henry passed on the better part of his 30s by retiring after beating Dominic Cruz, and then just, walking away thinking, he was the shit. And now he's 37, taking on a 33-year-old Merab Dvalishvili with a 9-fight win streak, who is just bound to fight for the title. There's no stopping this guy. No one's been able to do it, not even Peter Yan. And if Peter Yan couldn't do it with the striking, how can Henry do it? By keeping the fight on the feet. People think that Henry, by keeping this fight on the feet, can get this one done by decision. I don't see that happening either, because Merab is just going to rack up control time having him on the cage. So give me Merab to get this one done, like he always does, by decision. The machine, Merab Dvalishvili. Next fight, guys. Geoff Neal taking on Ian Machado Garry. Now, this is the fight I wanted to see, because I didn't want Ian Garry to fight Vicente Luque. I didn't know if they were going to really, showcase their full skill set, because they have been former teammates before, but now you don't got to hold back. You're taking on Geoff Neal. There's some beef there. And I think that Ian has definitely, worked his streak. Well-deserved. He's a very respectable fighter. Weird guy, respectable fighter though, and his maintenance of distance in his fights is definitely what gets him the advantage. He just knows how to outpoint you. He's like becoming the new wonder boy of the division, just being able to outpoint guys and avoid the power shots. Now Geoff Neal, I mean, that's pretty much all he's been facing lately, right? He's faced Wonder Boy, lost. Faced Neil Magny, lost. Faced Shavkat, lost. All three of them were taller than him. They had a reach advantage over him. That's tough to say that he can get it done against Ian Garry, considering that he's lost to all three of those guys, but he put up a tough fight against all three of those guys. Ian did get clipped by Song Kenan, and he didn't get finished simply because Song Kenan decided to grapple. Geoff Neal is not going to make that mistake if he does catch Ian Garry. Ian Garry's going to have to be a lot more aware in this fight. I think he can get this one done. The pick is going to be Ian Garry. I'm going to rock with Ian Garry. As sour as that sounds to say, I mean, I really don't like the guy as a person, but as a fighter, you can't knock him. And Geoff Neal is just one step behind against these guys who have the reach and height advantage over him. It's been proven. If Neil Magny can do it at such a, that the later part of his career, you can't convince me that Ian Garry, fresh, 26 years old, undefeated, feeling like on top of the world, he might have to, you're banking on Ian Garry to make a mistake, basically. Make a mistake for him to be vulnerable to get punched. And I just don't see it happening. Ian Garry to win this one by decision. Next fight, guys. Co-main event, Robert Whittaker taking on Paulo Costa. Now, Paulo Costa, this fight was supposed to happen before. Paulo Costa, this guy is a character. He is not a fighter. I think he's about to get fraud checked this Saturday night. He puts on some hell of a performances against, the people he's faced, but the guy is just never really fighting. He pulls out, and I just don't know how serious he takes his career. And now he's 32, and he took Luke Rockhold to decision. Robert Whittaker should be able to, realistic. I mean, I'm not doing MMA math here, but Paulo Costa faced the worst part of, the worst version of Luke Rockhold, still took him to decision. How can you count on Paulo Costa being able to get it done against a guy like the Reaper, Robert Whittaker? I just don't see it. You're counting on, again, Robert Whittaker, another fighter. You're counting on another fighter to make a mistake in there, who's high caliber, been in there with everybody. Robert Whittaker has been in there with everybody, guys. And former champ. Give me Robert Whittaker to get this one done. I think, his past 2 losses have only come to Adesanya and Dricus, and it's for a reason. The guy is high level, okay? It's hard to beat him. And a guy like Paulo Costa, I don't see him getting it done. All right, guys. Next fight, which is the main event. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of these picks, man. Volkanovski taking on Elliot Topuria. This fight, I mean, everybody's been talking about it, so it's just super tough to pick. Both guys can win. Both guys have a way to win. Elliot Topuria, obviously, by knockout. Volkanovski, more 5-round experience. He can win this one by decision, clearly. He can just outwork this guy, I think. So you can make the case for either one of these dudes. But Volkanovski's resume is what stands out to me here. And Elliot Topuria's resume is also what stands out to me. People are saying, Elliot Topuria has been getting it done. Yes, he's been getting it done. It's Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell, Jai Herbert, Brian Hall, and Damon Jackson, and Yusuf Zalal. Guys, 6-0 in the UFC. You guys maybe know, or if diehards, they know everyone here. But the casuals, they only know a few of the names I just mentioned here, because some are not even in the UFC anymore. Yusuf Zalal, not in the UFC, and Yusuf Zalal won a round against Elliot Topuria. That first round. Jai Herbert dropped Elliot Topuria in the first round. People have had moments in their fights. Bryce Mitchell, yes, he got outclassed. But in that first round, he did take Elliot Topuria down. And Elliot Topuria didn't have a way to get up. He was trying, couldn't get up though. And that's how the round ended. So, people are saying this guy's looking flawless. I'm not seeing that. Volkanovski, undefeated in featherweight. Okay? So, these guys are both undefeated in this weight class. I'm going to be rocking with the guy with more experience, the champ. Volkanovski is the pick here to get this one done. I think his resume is way more proven. I think the 5-round experience is definitely going to play a big role. Elliot Topuria has only fought 5 rounds with Josh Emmett. And Josh Emmett was just destroyed after the first, you can say. So, can Topuria find the chin? Yes. But I'm counting on Volkanovski to just put on a beating, absolute 5-round, high-level pace, put it on him, and just get the job done against Elliot Topuria, the newcomer, and just put that put that confidence to rest, man. This guy has just been talking too much. But apart from that, you know, I do think, like, just apart from the trash talk, speaking strictly on fighting skill, Volkanovski, in my opinion, is the better fighter, has gotten through the better opponents, and in better style. Volkanovski is the pick. And there you guys have it. 298 picks and predictions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.